Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we are covering Bronzong. Bronzong being a very cool Pokemon, very good defenses, having access to a variety of good moves such as Stealth Rock, having access to screens for example, and also having viable attack and special attack. Very low speed, so he's definitely a Trick Room possibility. Now, this is an update because the Isle of Armor has given access to 2 more moves from Bronzong. If you would like to check out the previous video that I've done prior to the Isle of Armor update, it will be in a card up in the corner. I would recommend you go and check that out at the end of the video. Whilst I'm plugging, I should also ask if you could please like the video and also subscribe if you have not done so already. It really helps to build up the channel and also helps you to see the competitive guides that I bring out, which I do bring out multiple videos daily. Let's jump back to Bronzong. So the first one we have is probably a very typical set, I would say you have of Bronzong, and this is a Stealth Rock set, so setting up the Stealth Rocks causing hazards for a variety of Pokemon. So Fire type, Flying type, Bug type, and Ice type will all take 25% damage from these Stealth Rocks, at least. If they're like all that type, they will be 50%. So that is going to do a lot of damage to them. Obviously start racking up over time. It will limit the amount of switches your opponent can do, and also with fire types it gets rid of one of your weaknesses. I've gone for Levitate as the ability on here. This allows for you to get rid of your ground type weakness, which can be really effective, and then leftovers to allow you to start healing yourself up, because realistically you're going to get hit with your slow speed. The other moves that you have got access to are Heavy Metal. Now Heavy Metal isn't really relevant unless you're going for Heavy Slam, but that's unlikely to go for, so Heavy Metal's less relevant. Heat Proof or Levitate is kind of a toss-up here. I went for the Levitate because the Stealth Rocks kind of will deter fire types a little bit more. We've then got Toxic. Now Toxic is a transfer-only move, so you would have to transfer from a previous game with Toxic already taught, and Toxic can be really effective in breaking down walls because it racks over time, and it can also be effective in dealing with setup sweepers. Now setup sweepers will either not set up as much as they originally planned to and not have the power to be able to take out your team, or they will set up as fully and then they will be stuck and run out of juice essentially before they can finish the job, so they will have to switch out or they will faint, for example. You've then got Hex, which Hex is really nice. It doubles in power when you have a Pokemon that is a status, so if you have like a Will-O-Wisp user on your team as well, or a Thunderwave user, those are some options. And then obviously with the Toxic here, you've got Hex, which will double in power, obviously doing more damage to the Pokemon than initially. And finally I've gone for Psychic, powerful Psychic type attack boosted by Stab. You could go Psyshock if you want to go more on the defensive side rather than especially defensive, or you could even go like Flash Cannon or something. It's entirely up to you what you decide to go for there. EVs, we've got max HP and max special defense with a calm nature, so more special defense, less attack, and 4 EVs and special attack, just boosting that ever so slightly. You could go max HP, max defense, and possibly even with a Rocky Helmet at that point. It's entirely up to you what you decide to do. If you're going for the max HP, max defense, go for the bold nature. Moving on to the second Bronzong, I've gone for a Meteor Beam. So Meteor Beam basically is a 120 power move, and it's 90% accurate, so it's not the most amazing, but it raises your special attack on the first turn and then hits on the second turn. But if we put a Power Herb on our Bronzong, that will all happen in one turn, so you get a massive attack, and you also get a boost to your special attack, which can be very, very helpful, especially considering your special attack, whilst okay, it's not amazing, allow for you to be able to set that up and then use different moves. We've got Psyshock, which I explained that Psyshock goes in the defense rather than the special defense, so that can be really effective to use, especially when like special walls such as Chansey come in. Flash Cannon, powerful steel type move that hits a variety of different Pokemon, including things like Fairy types, which are very prominent in the metagame. And then you've got Trick Room. Now Trick Room, obviously I've said you have very, very slow speed. Having Trick Room there allows for you to be able to go first, and that can really help the rest of your team as well. It allows for other members of your team that might be slow. So for example, Conkeldurr is a very slow Pokemon. Having that Trick Room for them can be a little bit more supportive. Now EV's gone for max HP and max special attack with a quiet nature, so more special attack, less speed, and 4 EVs in special defense. So you should be able to live hits to be able to set up the Trick Room and be able to set up the Meteor Beam. and having that opportunity to have the Trick Room will really help for you, meaning that you don't take as many hits. I've gone for Heat Proof as the ability here. Again, it's your preference on what you want to go, whether Heat Proof or Levitate. It is entirely up to you. The third set I've gone for, now this is a Dynamax set, so I've put Choice Band on Bronzong, base 89 speed boosted, base 89 attack, boosted by the Choice Band. Gives you quite a nice attack stat in the end. It's about 456, I think, in total, which is very nice. But you have got access to 4 fantastic moves when you Dynamax. So, Earthquake will turn into Max Quake, increasing up your special defense by 1 stage. Steel Roller will turn to Max Steel Spike, increasing up your defense by 1 stage, which will work in turn with the Body Press when you're out of Dynamax, because you'll have that boosted stat on your defense. You then have Body Press, which will turn to Max Knuckle, increasing up your attack stat, allowing for the 3 other attacks to do more damage. And then you've got Zen Headbutt, which will set up the Psychic Terrain. The Psychic Terrain will mean that there's going to be no priority moves hitting you, so things like Sucker Punch are no longer a concern, but you also have the ability to get access to the Steel Roller after you've set up the Psychic Terrain. So you can essentially destroy that terrain using Steel Roller, very powerful Steel type attack, boosted by Stab, and can do a lot of damage to different Pokemon. So a lot of synergy with the moves in this set. Obviously, once you've got that Steel Roller done, then you can't use it anymore. So the Choice Band does kind of not work necessarily if you're going for that Steel Roller. If you're going for like the Max Steel Spike and not the Steel Roller, then that's fine. But if you want to go for the Steel Roller as well, I recommend going for something like Life Orb, maybe even Leftovers, or even something like Red Card could help out there instead. Maybe even possibly Room Service if you're running a Trick Room, maybe in doubles. I wouldn't say run a Trick Room in singles, because by the time you set up, the Trick Room will have ended and it just won't work well for you. Again, Heat Proof or Levitate, it's your choice what you decide to go for there. If you're not wanting to run the Steel Roller, because I know some people are hesitant to do that, you can always run something like Heavy Slam, Gyro Ball. Yeah, there are a couple of options there. Iron Heads as well, that's an option to run. But yeah, EVs, I've gone for Max HP and Max Attack with an Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. If you're running it in a doubles Trick Room, then you can definitely go for the Brave Nature on here instead. And finally, we have one more Dynamax set. So we have got the choice specs. You can have things like Terrain Extender or Psychic Seed on here if you wish, but we have got access to a few good moves here. Now, Expanding Force is basically the premise to this set. So Expanding Force, when you Dynamax, will turn into Max Mindstorm and will set up the Psychic Terrain. When you are out of Dynamax, your Psychic Terrain, whether it's 5 turns or 8 turns, if you've got the Terrain Extender or not, that will allow for the Expanding Force to be 1.5 times in damage, and that will do a lot of damage to a lot of different Pokemon, especially in doubles. It hits both Pokemon, so having that as an option with Dynamaxing can work quite nicely. And then you've got Flash Cannon, which is a powerful Steel type move. Obviously you can raise up your defense when you're Dynamaxed as well. Grass Knot, you can set up the Max Overgrowth, so if for some reason your Expanding Force isn't going to work, you might want to set up the Max Overgrowth to allow you to heal up, or if you've got a Pokemon with you that's using Grassy Glide, that can work very nicely as well. And then Ancient Power, if you want to set up a Sandstorm just to get some chip damage on different Pokemon, that is always an option as well. Now if you want to put like a Trick Room as an option on here, you definitely can. So you do your Expanding Forces, so let's say you've got Terrain Extender, you Dynamax, you've set up your Expanding Force, you can use Trick Room as Max Guard as you need, and then when you're out of Dynamax, obviously your Expanding Force will become more powerful, but you can set up that Trick Room so you are going first, so that can work quite nicely. Obviously you have Natural Bulk, so that can help you with that as well. EVs, I've gone for Max HP and Max Special Attack with a Modest Nature, so more Special Attack, less Attack, and 4 EVs and Special Defense. If you're going for the Trick Room scenario, go for a Quiet Nature. Anyways, that is all for Bronzong. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.